Hello, welcome to another video in my Through Vidya YouTube channel. So in this video, we are going to understand what is the meaning of intercept made by the circle on coordinate axis, and we will find the intercept of a circle on coordinate axis as also. So now in the figure, we can see that a circle is intersecting x-axis and y-axis. So if we observe, so the circle is intersecting x-axis at 2 points. Okay, this is one point, another one is this, and y-axis at 2 points. So the circle is intersecting y-axis at 2 points. Let me name those points. So this point is A, and this point is B, and this point is C, and this point is D. So length of AB, so that is the intercept made by the circle on x-axis. Okay, so we can say that length of AB is nothing but intercept made by the circle on x-axis. Length of CD, length of CD, intercept made by the circle on y-axis. So we have to find the length of AB to find the intercept made by the circle on x-axis, and we have to find the length of CD to find the intercept made by the circle on y-axis. So let us assume that the given circle has an equation, okay, x square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c is equal to 0. So this is the general equation of a circle with center minus z comma minus f and radius uh, under root g square plus f square minus c. So this is the general equation. So I will try to find the length of AB first, and then length of CD. We can find the length of CD in the similar manner. So in which we have found the length of AB. Okay. So let me try to find the length of AB. So if we observe on the x-axis, the y coordinate will be 0. So if you observe for the point A and for the point B, so the y coordinate value is 0. So that is why I am taking the point A coordinates as x1 comma 0 and point B coordinates as x2 comma 0. So if I can find the x1 comma x2 values, the difference of x1 comma x2, okay, so length of AB will be length of AB will be difference of x coordinates of AB, that is x2 minus x1. I don't know whether x1 is greater and x2 is greater, that is why I put mod here. But according to the diagram, x2 is greater. I can clearly uh, feel that. But I don't know whether x1 or x2 is greater, so that is why I put mod here. So now for the point A or point B, the y coordinate is 0. So that is why I'm going to substitute the y value 0, so in this circle equation. So then what I will get is put. So let me name this equation, this one. Put y is equal to 0 in the equation 1. So then equation 1 will become like this. So that will be x square. So in the place of y square, 0 square, 0 square means 0. So and 2gx is there, 2gx plus 2fy. 2fy value, since the y value is 0, so it will become 0 and we will be left with c here. Okay. So this is a quadratic equation in x. So there is no y term in this equation. So the y value is 0. So this is a quadratic equation in x. So the quadratic equation will have two roots. So the roots will be definitely, they should be x1 comma x2. Why? Because these two values only will satisfy this equation. Okay. So if I substitute x1 comma 0, if I substitute x1 comma 0 into this equation, so it is going to satisfy this equation 1. Why? Because this point A, x1 comma 0, lies on this circle. So that is why this should satisfy the point of coordinates of A should satisfy the equation of the circle. So likewise, if I substitute x2 comma 0 into this circle equation, then also it will satisfy the circle equation. The simplified circle equation, that is by substituting the y value 0, so we got the quadratic equation in x. Okay, that is the simplified version of this circle. That why? Because I have put y is equal to 0 in it already. So definitely this x1 and x2 will satisfy this quadratic equation. So that is why I call them as roots of this quadratic equation. Okay. So now whenever I have a quadratic equation and the roots, so there is a relation between the roots and the coefficients in the quadratic. So sum of roots. What is that relation is? Sum of roots. Sum of roots is x1 plus x2. That should be equal to negative of x coefficient divided by x square coefficient. Negative of x coefficient, that will be minus 2g. X coefficient is 2g. So negative of x coefficient will be minus 2g divided by x square coefficient is 1. So that means x1 plus x2 value I have got it as minus 2g, and I have product of roots. Product of roots is constant term divided by x square coefficient. The constant term here is c, x square coefficient is 1. So now what I have to do is I got x1 plus x2, okay, minus 2g, and x1 x2, that is c. So using these two equations, so I should find the modulus of x2 minus x1. So see this x x2 minus x1 whole square. I'm writing a formula to the x2 minus x1 whole square. That is equal to, okay, x1 plus x2 whole square minus 4x1 x2. Okay. So if we simplify the right hand part of this equation, we will be getting the left hand side part of the equation. Okay. So if you simplify this, so we will find this fact. Okay. So now I want x2 minus x1. It will be under root of this. So the difference between the x coordinates, that is x2 minus x1, will be under root of x1 plus x2 whole square minus 4 times of x1 x2. I know the values of x1 x2, x1 times of x2 and x1 plus x2. x1 plus x2 value is minus 2g, x1 x2 value is c. I'll substitute the corresponding values into this equation. So that is x2 minus x1 mod is equal to x1 plus x2 value is minus 2g whole square minus 4 times of x1 x2 value is c. So under actually this its value will be 4 g square minus 4c. So under it we can take 4 common from 4g square and 4c. So 4 times of g square minus c under root. So square root of 4, it will become 2, and 2 times of g square minus. So this is the intercept made by the circle on x-axis. This is the intercept made by the circle on x-axis. In the similar manner, okay, if we observe the circle equation given, it is a second degree equation in x and y. So there is no xy term, only x term, x square, y square term are there. The coefficient of x square and y square are set. So for the length of CD, we will be substituting the values of x as 0. Then we will be getting y square plus 2fy plus c. Okay. The similar kind of quadratic equation, instead of x square here, we will be getting y square plus 2fy plus c is equal to 0. So instead of solving all this thing once again, I'm writing the just the result I'm writing here. Similarly, we can say that length of CD, that is difference of y2 minus y1, will be equal to 2 times of under root f square minus c. So this is the y-intercept made by the circle. Intercept made by the circle, or on the y-axis, we can say that it has a y-intercept of the circle. So I've taken various situations. So to these situations, we will be finding the length of the intercept, or whether it is touching, or whenever the circle is touching the axis, what will be the condition. Like that, we will discuss the various cases here. So if you assume here, if you look at this, so it is making a y-intercept, but there is no intercept on the x-axis. It is touching the x-axis. So that means x-intercept. It is touching the x-axis. So the x-intercept 2 times of g square minus c will be 0. Why? Because the intercept made by the circle on x-axis is 0. So this condition will give me that g square is equal to c. Okay. So the y-intercept will be, it is still 2 times of under root f square minus c. And here the circle is touching the y-axis. So then the condition will be f square should be equal to c. So it is intersecting the x-axis. So the x-intercept will be 2 times of under root g square minus c. So the one more case, it is touching, the circle is touching both the axes. In this case, g square value will be equal to c and f square value will be equal to c. So in this case, circle is touching only the y-axis. It is not touching the, or not, neither touching or nor intersecting the x-axis. So in this case, circle is touching the y-axis. That means y square is f square is should be equal to c, and g square minus c value should be less than 0. Why? Because to find the x-intercept formula is 2 times of g square minus c. The g square minus c expression inside the square root. So if it is negative, so it will become imaginary. So that is why. So there is no intercept. So saying no intercept means g square minus c value is negative. And I have some more cases here. In this case, circle is touching the x-axis. So circle is touching the x-axis means the x coefficient is 2g. So that is why g square should be equal to c. And there is no, the circle is not touching the y-axis, or it is not intersecting the y-axis, neither touching nor intersecting. So I can say that f square minus c value is less than 0. It is intersecting, in this case it is intersecting the x-axis, so it will be having x-intercept as 2 times of under root g square minus c, but there is no y-intercept, so f square minus c value will be less than 0. And two more conditions. So in this case, circle is intersecting the y-axis, but not neither intersecting nor touching the x-axis. So it is intersecting the y-axis means there will be a y-intercept, that is 2 times of f square minus c. So it is not intersecting, neither intersecting nor touching the x-axis means g square minus c value is less than c. So here neither intersecting nor touching both the axes. So the f square minus c value is less than 0, and as well as g square minus c value is also less than 0. So that's it in this video. I hope you have understood very well. Thank you.